The previous part ends with Ye Wu facing problems when Lai Yong comes to them with a Tyrannosaurus monster. However, even though this situation was very difficult, Ye Wu managed to overcome it. However, unexpectedly, Lai Yong, who still had a grudge against Ye Wu, stabbed Ye Wu in the back. So how does the story continue? We begin the plot of the story. When Lai Yong tried to stab Ye Wu's body, it turned out that the knife he was holding was blocked by a large sword that had been on Ye Wu's back. Lai Yong became very confused because he had not seen anything there until now. Ye Wu, on the other hand, became very angry because Lai Yong took advantage of such an opportunity to attack him. For him, Lai Yong is just someone who doesn't have the brain to think. Now that Lai Yong seems so determined to make Ye Wu the target of the devil's wrath, he will no longer let Lai Yong off the hook. Ye Wu finally kills the useless Lai Yong with his sword. In return, he can also seize all the prizes that Lai Yong had previously obtained. Ye Wu got all the personal and team points from Lai Yong amounting to 5,000 points. On the other hand, Lai Yong's body, which he lost in the dungeon, will be returned to his original body at the university. Of course, Lai Yong is very angry and he promises not to let the man go easily. Ye Wu also received other prizes in the form of a disappearing skill book and a poisonous dagger. Ye Wu managed to defeat the enemy in PvP mode and had the opportunity to seize items and enemy equipment that could be exchanged. Ye Wu looked at the list of loot he managed to collect, seeing that, in his opinion, Lai Yong is indeed worthy of being a rich second generation. Lai Yong, who is level 5, also seems to have good equipment. Ye Wu looked at the hiding skill book, which could allow him to get the disappearing skill, which would last for 30 seconds and could be renewed. Apart from that, he also has a poisonous dagger that can deal a fatal blow to humans and can only be used once. Ye Wu was happy that he could get 2 items at once at that time, something that had never happened to him before. Suddenly, a voice asked him to be careful. It was Ruin Tianqian's voice warning Ye Wu about the demon Tyrannosaurus that was heading towards Ye Wu. Ye Wu saw the demon's movement very fast. The man knew the demon Tyrannosaurus was a signature creature of the Shadow Forest that was the only rare elite in that place. The devil has the fire attribute and he has an irritable or vicious character. Once a demon becomes vicious, all of its attributes will multiply and make it even more difficult to defeat. It was all that Ye Wu read in books about reunification. Ye Wu also remembered that if he encountered a fierce monster in the wild or dungeon and couldn't run, the thing he could do was clean himself and immediately sleep on the ground so he could walk better. However, so far the demon's attacks were not a problem for him. A Tyrannosaurus demon that is in an angry state will not drop any equipment or items even if it is killed. That means players have to kill him carefully so as not to make the demon even angrier. Ye Wu found this very troublesome. However, Ye Wu at least had enormous courage to stay there. Even if the Tyrannosaurus demon became ferocious, it would still have a way to defeat it. Ye Wu immediately went to Ruin Tianqian to talk about his plans. The man asked Ruin Tianqian to listen carefully to his instructions. He asked Ruin Tianqian to prepare to appease the demon. Ruin Tianqian was of course a little confused about what these words meant. Ye Wu knew that a doctor had a special skill to remove anger or violence. He asked Ruin Tianqian to prepare. The girl who was hiding in the tree trunk became doubtful, because even though she does have that kind of special skill, the levels that she and the devil have are very different. So, she will very likely fail to do so. Moreover, in such a short time, she can only use that special skill once. Ye Wu knew that this skill would not necessarily work. He only asked Ruin Tianqian to follow his orders. He will also ensure his plan is successful by reducing the demon's HP to below 20%. Ruin Tianqian immediately understood, although in her heart she was still amazed by Ye Wu's extraordinary strength and hand-fighting abilities. This strength was comparable to the members of a large professional team. Ye Wu was still fighting with the monster demon. He knew that he could easily kill such a level 8 elite vicious beast, but it would be a huge loss for him if he fought with all his strength to kill the beast without gaining a single cent. He didn't want that kind of thing, let alone the Tyrannosaurus demon who was a rare elite, famous for having many treasures. He couldn't wait to see what kind of treasure the devil had. As soon as Ye Wu succeeded in knocking down the monster's body, he immediately asked Ruin Tianqian to use the special skill he had. Ruin Tianqian started to take out her wand. With the combination of beauty and wisdom, in the name of love and magic, Ruin Tianqian will cure the devil. Hearing all the words and seeing Ruin Tianqian's movements, of course, Ye Wu became a little annoyed because the girl seemed to want to show off. However, they were confused about the effects. Ye Wu asked if Ruin Tianqian used the correct skills. The girl was also doubtful because she felt there was nothing wrong with the skill. However, on the other hand, the Tyrannosaurus demon turns out to be very small and adorable. Of course, Ruin Tianqian, who saw it, became annoyed because the devil had become so cute. On the other hand, Ye Wu was annoyed but couldn't do anything about it. Ruin Tianqian was surprised that she could have such a calming effect on the Tyrannosaurus demon. However, on the other hand, Ye Wu wanted to give the demon the final blow so he could get points and equipment and then go from there. At that time, Ruin Tianqian immediately hugged the devil and prevented Ye Wu from doing so. She asked Ye Wu not to kill such a cute demon. After all, the demon was a rare elite that would be better to keep as a pet. Ye Wu said that making the demon a pet was a good idea, so that in the future Ruin Tianqian will be the one responsible for the losses. He would kill Ruin Tianqian first and take all the points. Then he would also kill those rare elites and take their points. Ye Wu could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and that was perfect. Ye Wu confirmed this to Ruin Tianqian. Frightened, the girl immediately came up with an idea. She felt points and equipment were much more important than the demon. The demon looked at Ye Wu innocently, but of course, the man didn't flinch at all. For him, the devil should know better than him about the rules of survival, where the strong will survive and the weak will be eliminated. Humans and monsters alike do not want to be devoured by the other. They can only strive to develop into the strongest. Finally, Ye Wu succeeded in killing an elite monster. He managed to get 5,000 points and Ruin Tianqian managed to get 2,500 points. The girl who was previously crying quickly became very happy after seeing the number of points she had obtained. She is very grateful for this achievement. On the other hand, Ye Wu, who saw it, could only be amazed to see Ruin Tianqian's drastic change in attitude. Ye Wu focused again on his achievements. He gets 50,000 XP points as a reward. Of course, Ye Wu was very happy because the number was much greater than the previous level 15 demon-eyed ghost spiders. This also seems to be influenced by the dungeon mode. Ye Wu logged into the account room system. He wanted to know where else XP points could be allocated besides increasing the relationship level. Ye Wu knew that his XP value had many advantages. That means to maximize the use of the XP value, he can use the XP points to increase the relationship level of the Qian Emperor account to level 20 by unlocking more accounts. He can also choose to unlock other assistance skills from the Qian Emperor to add to the completeness of his account. Ye Wu was curious whether he could open the next account at level 20. However, Emperor Qian was too strong, so he didn't know what surprises the account would bring him. However, he knows that he should not open an account carelessly. He can't play around. XP points should be used to increase the depth of the Qian Emperor's account, because no matter how powerful the attack, Ye Wu might still encounter an enemy that could not be defeated. In the end, he can be helped by special skills and a combination of various versions of tactics. Ye Wu chose to open the special panel now. He is at relationship level 12 and can unlock special skills, including camouflage, which can simulate the breath of a creature 1 time higher than his level for 2 minutes. Crazy speed, which can release fire to burn and increase speed by 50% for 1 minute, and true eyes that can explore all creatures within a certain distance. Of course, Ye Wu didn't believe it because special skills turned out to be very expensive, but he was quite interested in the real eye skill that could make him see monsters all over the map. The skill can let him see the final boss hidden in the shadow forest. He decided to buy it. Ye Wu used 70,000 XP points to unlock the true eye skill, whereas previously, Ye Wu almost gave up on finding the boss of the Shadow Tree Elf, which was very secret and had not been revealed so far. But now he has a new skill that emerged from the Tyrannosaurus demon. Now he is determined to kill the boss of the Shadow Tree Elf. At that time, Ruin Tianqian called him to show him something great. At first, he was a little confused, but Ye Wu thought it was just Ruin Tianqian's carelessness. However, the girl asked Ye Wu to look more carefully. The girl saw an egg and Ye Wu immediately knew that the egg was rumored to have a very low explosion rate. The unknown egg was an ordinary egg with a strange flower pattern on its surface. The eggs can be incubated with XP or just made into eggs for fried rice. Ye Wu of course didn't expect that the egg could be made into a fried rice egg. However, it is said that these super rare items can be hatched, and that is certainly more interesting for him. Ye Wu said that such a rare type of elite egg could be cultivated into a battle pet or mount. The degree of resistance as well as the effectiveness of the attack was terrifying. He could imagine Ye Wu riding the Tyrannosaurus demon mightily and domineeringly. That made Ruin Tianqian's heart beat fast. Just imagining it made Ye Wu happy and chose to keep the egg. Ruin Tianqian praised Ye Wu. He also apologized and thanked him. As if understanding where Ruin Tianqian was going, Ye Wu said that he did not plan to eat the egg, but instead gave the egg to Ruin Tianqian. Of course, Ruin Tianqian refused. She was really sincere with what she said, but Ye Wu seemed to have misunderstood her. Ruin Tianqian didn't want the egg at all. Meanwhile, in the university waiting room outside the dungeon, someone kept watching Ye Wu. Her guess was correct that Ye Wu was a special man, especially after she saw Ye Wu's performance against the Tyrannosaurus demon. She wasn't like someone with a level 3 surface. Then she asked the guards to summon and bring the head of the university to meet him. Girl had noticed that so far the copy system newly developed by Lao Lin was indeed easy to use, but it could only be used to monitor low-level copies. She hoped they could monitor the higher level or progress of the dungeon. This could help increase their group ranking. Finally, the man he had been waiting for arrived. He greeted Miss Mo and asked what the girl wanted. Miss Mo asked Chief Yan how many ranking points Ye Wu got from the dungeon. The man was certainly confused because as far as he knew, Ye Wu was just a student who couldn't improve himself. Miss Mo was of course confused and wanted to hear more. Chief Yan then explained that Ye Wu had already been at level 3 since entering the university. Initially, he was known as a genius student at the university. However, it turned out that after 3 years his level had not increased at all and he didn't know what problem was causing it. Miss Mo was of course confused. She thought that Ye Wu was just disguising himself and hiding his true level. She wanted to know what Ye Wu's true purpose was. This made him even more curious about the man. However, suddenly Chief Yan was surprised to see Ye Wu, who was at number 3 on the ranking table. She was curious how Ye Wu did it. Miss Mo then asked Chief Yan to announce the rankings in the dungeon. She also asked the man to publish information regarding the rankings of all the players. Chief Yan was shocked. He suspected that Miss Mo wanted to increase the difficulty of the dungeon. Even though the current dungeon mechanism is quite cruel, if the rankings were also published, then the students would start a civil war. He was increasingly worried about Ye Wu, who might be surrounded. Miss Mo casually said that the real world would be even more cruel than a level 10 dungeon. She, as the representative of the Hanmo group, wanted to make sure to select the best talents. After all, Ye Wu was not just any student. Chief Yan did not expect that Miss Mo would pay attention to Ye Wu. She became curious whether the man was truly extraordinary. She also wanted to pay more attention to Ye Wu's movements in the future. In the Shadow Forest dungeon, a man has been defeated. He is the team captain named Cheng Feng. He was angry because he felt betrayed. The man who killed him previously joined, but only to kill other people. This is very despicable. Meanwhile, the man who killed him could only laugh in disdain. He is the team captain named Luo Feng. As far as he knew, there were no rules regarding teammates. Cheng Feng was of course angry, but he couldn't do anything. On the other hand, what happened to Cheng Feng was the result of him not wanting to join Luo Feng. The man angrily asked Cheng Feng to return to the dungeon and report it to Chief Yan. He then stepped on Cheng Feng hard and even managed to kill him. He even got 2,000 points from it. A man named Zhang Yi immediately praised Luo Feng, who he felt led very well. It can even make them get points easily. Luo Feng regretted his fight with Cheng Feng a little because the man could become a member of a professional team in the future. However, he couldn't understand Cheng Feng's train of thought. For him, it was very boring to beat trash who wouldn't give him any pleasure except points. At that moment, a command system suddenly appeared in front of them all. The university finally revealed the ranking scores and player location information. They want to know what happened. Luo Feng casually said that it was very clear. The university thinks that the competition between them is less fierce. Therefore, they intend to increase the competition between them. However, that was what Luo Feng wanted. He can reasonably take other people's points. When he saw the rankings, Luo Feng was even more surprised because in third place was Ye Wu with 10,000 points. Luo Feng was very surprised to see that the man was still alive and was even ranked 3. He wanted to know how Ye Wu did it. Did Ye Wu secretly rely on points from others? Whatever it was, Luo Feng was quite impressed because if that was true, then Ye Wu was a man who should be praised for being so lucky. However, that luck would soon end as Luo Feng would take all of Ye Wu's points. They were determined to go find and torture Ye Wu in the trash. On the other side, a man who was the chairman of Zhu Tian's tomb ran over. He was scared because he was being chased by people who were like demons. However, an explosion suddenly occurred in front of him. Zhu Tian fell and he thought about how their team had previously gone to meet Ye Wu to torture him. But now he is left alone. Zhu Tian was still surprised that Ye Wu could have such great strength with only level 3. Zhu Tian couldn't escape at all because the street was covered with fire. Ye Wu casually said that he didn't eat people. After all, from the start, Zhu Tian was the one who wanted to take his points. Ye Wu waited to be killed by Zhu Tian. Zhu Tian was so annoyed because the man had killed all his team members before. But he still didn't want to lose to Ye Wu. Ignited with emotion, Zhu Tian began to attack Ye Wu. Ye Wu felt attacked first as if forcing him to act cruelly. After all, for someone like Zhu Tian, it wouldn't make any difference whether he was a prophet or a devil, as long as he could gain points, then he would do it. Ye Wu kills Zhu Tian and he reminds the man to bring more troops next time if he wants to defeat him. Ye Wu killed Zhu Tian and managed to get 6,500 points and also took the primary recovery agent. Therefore, Zhu Tian's copy body had also been forced out of the dungeon. Ruin Tianqian immediately praised Ye Wu as worthy of the title of Great God. Previously, 4 attacks from Zhu Tian and all his team members had been defeated by Ye Wu. However, Ye Wu regretted that from this attack, nothing interesting could be obtained except points. Ye Wu started to think about the university that had already disclosed the ranking and location information of all the players, which was done by Miss Mo. He knew that Miss Mo did it on purpose to make the fight even fiercer, but it turned out that for Ye Wu it was good entertainment. After successfully defeating all Zutina members, Ye Wu automatically became first place with 22,500 points. Of course, Ruin Tianchen was so happy that she hugged Ye Wu. Ye Wu understood, but he reminded Ruin Tianchen not to get too excited because they might lose concentration and become careless. In my imagination, Ruin Tianchen had already imagined how she, a doctor, could get the first prize as well as a bonus after getting first place in the dungeon contest. Ye Wu tried to shake Ruin Tianchen out of her delusion. That being the best also means that more people will hate you later. Ye Wu started to pay attention to the system, and so far there were 3 teams left among them. Apart from Ye Wu, there was Luo Feng and Zhang Yi's team there. Through the system, Ruin Tianchen also realized that the 2 teams were following them without doing anything. Ye Wu was clear about Luo Feng's character. The man looked careless on the outside, but he was very careful. The man must have been hiding and keeping his distance to observe. Since Ye Wu's performance was definitely beyond Luo Feng's expectations, he would enter unexpectedly. Once he calculated and had full confidence, he would jump out and kill Ye Wu to then seize the points for himself. Hearing this explanation, Ruin Tianchen became angry. Luo Feng was very cruel because she was always trying to chase Ye Wu. But I wonder what makes the man so determined. Ye Wu said that Luo Feng was just trying to hide the fact about something that happened between me and my sister. But Ye Wu chose to focus on increasing his concentration and finding the final boss in the dungeon. However, on the other hand, Ruin Tianchen was not sure because the Shadow Tree Fairy boss was integrated into the forest and had never been found before. The university uses the Shadow Forest for competitions. From the start, I was doubtful about the final result. Therefore, she tried to offer Ye Wu to just use PvP to determine the winner. Ye Wu was quite surprised to learn the conclusion the girl came up with. Of course, Ruin Tianchen was annoyed because Ye Wu underestimated my intelligence because of my beauty. Ye Wu then confirmed that it was because the dungeon competition was indeed a test to find out their PvP abilities. However, he did not plan to give up on finding the dungeon boss. By completing the Shadow Fairy Tree boss, they can get lots of items and XP points. So, Ye Wu started to use real eye skills. Ye Wu could see the entire Shadow Forest. Ye Wu was quite satisfied with the skill's abilities, which had taken away 70,000 XP points from him. It was then that with his real eyes, he managed to find the Shadow Tree Elf. Ye Wu was happy because he had a real eye for special skills, which was not at all disappointing. He finally managed to find the hidden final boss very easily. In both the real world and dungeons, he can use full power attacks combined with skills. This is a very powerful combination. Ye Wu saw the flames he released earlier entering the forest. The fire functions as a navigator to show the whereabouts of the dungeon boss. Ye Wu was very satisfied with all his abilities. At that time, Ye Wu immediately ran and asked Ruin Tianchen to come along because I managed to find the whereabouts of the final boss of the dungeon. He asked the girl to hurry up so that other people wouldn't get ahead of her. Hearing those words, of course, Ruin Tianchen became very excited. But he asked the girl not to speak too loudly so that no one else would hear. However, the girl's words were too late because not far from them, the other 2 teams could hear Ye Wu's words. They heard that Ye Wu had found the boss monster, but they were doubtful because it might be Ye Wu's way of hurting and trapping them. Luo Feng, who saw Ye Wu's attitude, felt so strange because the man looked different. Ye Wu was a weak man and was often helped by others, unlike today. Another man then said that Ye Wu could kill 4 people in one team before. They couldn't put up any resistance at all. The man wanted to know what move Luo Feng would choose. Luo Feng naturally had no other choice. He wants to be part of Mo's attack team. Of course, he had to take points from Ye Wu's body. No matter what Ye Wu would try to do, he would not be afraid and instead teach him a lesson. They all finally chased Ye Wu and were determined to kill him as well as the final boss of the dungeon. However, while in pursuit, Ye Wu's position suddenly disappeared from the system. Of course, he was shocked and confused about how a human could just disappear. Luo Feng thought that Ye Wu had already learned a new skill. Other members then want to know what steps the team captain will take. That's when he saw Ruin Tianchen, who was still standing. He asked everyone to surround and capture him. Luo Feng was a little suspicious of Ruin Tianchen's attitude at that time. So, he was determined to follow Ye Wu's game. At that time, Ruin Tianchen started to get scared. She tries to look for Ye Wu, who just disappeared. Ruin Tianchen had been asked by Ye Wu to be bait. Now the man disappeared directly. The girl was a little doubtful. Even though she knows that Ye Wu asked me to lure Luo Feng and the others out, they probably won't be fooled so easily. However, how surprised Ruin Tianchen was that Luo Feng appeared. The man was provoked very easily. Luo Feng asked where Ye Wu was, but on the other hand, Ruin Tianchen wanted to know what they were doing. Luo Feng didn't want to sympathize, so he asked again where Ye Wu was hiding. Ruin Tianchen admitted that she didn't know. She got lost and couldn't find it on the map. Ruin Tianchen also told Luo Feng to look at the map. Luo Feng was of course angry because he thought he was being tricked by Ruin Tianchen. He threatened to kill the girl. Ruin Tianchen still admitted that I didn't know anything about Yiwu's whereabouts. At that time, Ruin Tianchen started to worry. In my heart, she begged Yiwu to show himself immediately. She had tried her best to restrain Luo Feng and company. However, suddenly the ground started shaking. They thought that an earthquake had occurred. However, suddenly a huge foot stepped on Luo Feng's group. They were still confused, but then quickly realized that it was the figure of the final boss of the Shadow Forest Elf Dungeon. They were all very surprised because unexpectedly they were in the nest of a dungeon boss that had never been found before. Others think that they only need to maintain the PvP points until the end to win the dungeon. Now they are confused about how to overcome this boss monster. Luo Feng excitedly said that they just needed to attack the level 10 boss monster. After all, there were 10 of them in total. Luo Feng asked everyone to form a line and he would block the attack. Luo Feng asked in his heart, was that the real reason Yiwu lured them to that point? However, he didn't want to think about it any longer. For him, it wasn't that important. He was more focused on thinking about the reward he would receive if he succeeded in defeating the Shadow Tree Elf. Then as thanks, he would kill Yiwu. Luo Feng started executing his plan. First, he would follow a simple method of strategy against the boss, namely targeting the attribute that was his weakness. Luo Feng immediately attacked the boss monster. On the other hand, all his colleagues also helped attack the boss monster from a safe distance. They attempted to attack to deal continuous damage to the monster's body. Ruin Tianchen, who was watching, couldn't help but be amazed at the professional teamwork. Everything looks very different from the temporary team formation. The famously arrogant Luo Feng was no nonsense since he could prove his abilities. The monster also slowly started to lose its HP. Ruin Tianchen was already so worried. She was afraid that if Yiwu didn't appear, then Luo Feng and the others would succeed in defeating the boss monster. On the other hand, Luo Feng also looked confident. He was confident that he could defeat the monsters as long as they continued to carry out similar attacks with more courage. Considering the huge number of teams, plus Luo Feng's command, a level 10 boss for them should be very easy. However, suddenly the boss monster switched to using fear mode, which made him invulnerable. This means that all types of attacks will not work on boss monsters. Luo Feng announced to everyone that the boss monster had entered stage 2. Everyone started to panic because they didn't know what situation was happening at that time. None of them had the experience to face a level 2 Shadow Ghost Fairy boss yet. They were confused about what to do. The trees around them also started to move and turned into a huge army of monsters. The boss monster spread its power and activated the small monsters. Those who initially won in terms of numbers now no longer do. The monster has the lowest level of 7. At that time all the troops chose to flee, leaving behind Luo Feng, who of course still insisted on moving forward. He asked everyone to maintain their formation. Besides, right now all the monsters' hatred is only directed at me. He asked everyone not to mess around. However, they all chose to run away. This of course made Luo Feng very angry. At that moment, a monster suddenly caught Ruin Tianchen's body. The girl who was being lifted upside down could only scream for Yiwu's help. Sure enough, Yiwu appeared and immediately attacked the monster's body, making Ruin Tianchen's grip loose and causing the girl to fly into the air. Yiwu quickly caught the girl's body. The man said that Ruin Tianchen's task was completed. He asked the girl to watch and run away from there if the situation got bad. On the other hand, Ruin Tianchen was very happy because she could help Yiwu. Ruin Tianchen was very relieved to hear that. She admitted that she was scared, but was grateful to be able to carry out Yiwu's orders. The man didn't mind this. He also apologized for using Ruin Tianchen as bait. He promised to give relief to the girl afterward. On the other hand, Luo Feng was annoyed to see that Yiwu and Ruin Tianchen were busy talking. Luo Feng was of course angry because he realized that it was all Yiwu's doing. The man deliberately led them toward the location of the boss monster and then casually waited for an opportunity to take advantage. Luo Feng said that what Yiwu did was despicable. Not wanting to be outdone, Yiwu said that he didn't plan to take advantage of Luo Feng at all because he would be the one facing the boss monster himself. However, despite that Yiwu praised Luo Feng's fighting abilities, the man had mature command and mental abilities. Luo Feng was naturally getting annoyed because it wasn't the time for him to hear Yiwu's teasing. After all, he was aware of Yiwu's abilities now, so he invited the man to collaborate. Luo Feng ordered Yiwu to be the bait, but on the other hand, Yiwu certainly wouldn't obey him easily. To him, Luo Feng was too confident. However, this made Zhang Yi angry and asked the man to get out of Luo Feng's sight or he would kill him. Yiwu casually killed Zhang Yi immediately and obtained 8,500 points as a reward. Luo Feng, who saw it, naturally didn't believe it. How could Yiwu, who was a former nephew, actually kill his troops at such a critical moment? Of course, Yiwu didn't care. To him, Luo Feng and the others were just points that could be exploited. Luo Feng, who was getting angry, tried to kill Ye Wu. The man casually said that Luo Feng shouldn't be so hasty. Getting angry is not good, especially if someone doesn't have the strength. This can make people easily die on the battlefield. Ye Wu attacked Luo Feng's body and even made him fall on his back. The man became increasingly angry because he felt that he didn't need Ye Wu's advice at this time. He asked Ye Wu not to be arrogant because he would not be able to kill the boss monster alone. In the end, all the loot points that Ye Wu managed to collect would be in vain because he wouldn't get anything if he died at the hands of the boss monster. Ye Wu naturally disagreed. He planned to leave 1% of Luo Feng's HP so that the man could see with his own eyes how to take all the points and withdraw completely from the battle. Ye Wu started to show his moves and Luo Feng was naturally curious as to what the man would do. At that time he attacked all the monsters as well as Luo Feng's remaining troops. They were all shocked when their points were taken away and were forced to lose the battle. Some asked Luo Feng for help, but he couldn't do anything either. All the power that the boss monster had previously scattered was absorbed again. But later, the boss monster's body evolved to become smaller than the size of a human body. Everyone was shocked. They suspected that the boss monster had reached the third form and the final evolutionary form of its body. This makes them even more worried. Ruin Tianchen could see that the Shadow Forest Fairy Beast had already reached its final form. However, even though it was smaller, the monster was stronger. She hoped that Ye Wu could be careful. The monster moved very quickly, making it too difficult for Ye Wu to keep up. The monster's speed had increased and it didn't look like a level 10 monster. Plus, even though its body had become smaller and its speed had increased, the monster's strength had not weakened either. If ordinary players fought him without a strategy, then they would lose because it was too difficult to kill him. Luo Feng, who was watching from a distance, could only laugh in satisfaction. He told the man to throw away his ego, saying he could kill the boss monster alone. Luo Feng said that with the boss it would be very easy to crush Ye Wu into dust. Ye Wu still casually said that he had no problem with it. There were many ways he could kill a level 10 boss monster like that. The mainstay attack is not that complicated. No need to focus on attacking weak points. He just needed to increase the fire. At that time, Ye Wu managed to kill the boss monster and got 10,000 points as a reward and another 10,000 points as a bonus for being the first killer in the system. With that, the Shadow Forest dungeon has been completed and the number of surviving players is 3 people. The portal finally opened and Ye Wu, Ruin Tianchen and Luo Feng were able to leave the place. Lu Feng was of course very surprised and confused to see Ye Wu being able to kill the boss monster in a matter of seconds. He couldn't even believe that the Ye Wu he saw was the Ye Wu he knew before. Ye Wu casually said that one only needed to be strong to be able to kill such a monster. Ye Wu had completed his mission and now it was Luo Feng's turn. Luo Feng was of course scared because he thought Ye Wu was going to kill him. He said that Ye Wu was very strong and should not care about weak people like him. He also promised not to look down on Ye Wu again. From now on, he will be your brother and they can forget the past. Ye Wu naturally didn't believe that Luo Feng still had the face to say such words. For Ye Wu, Luo Feng did not meet the qualifications to be a brother at all. Luo Feng was getting even angrier because the man's facial expression seemed to be mocking him. Ruin Tianchen was annoyed at Luo Feng, who used the opportunity to sneak attack, but that definitely wouldn't work for Ye Wu. Luo Feng of course wasn't sure. He suddenly disappeared and it turned out that Luo Feng, who had been in front of the two, was a puppet card. Meanwhile, the real Luo Feng was already standing at the door and saying goodbye to Ye Wu. Luo Feng mocked the man who, although strong, had too little dueling experience. Ruin Tianchen was naturally worried that the man would run away. Meanwhile, Luo Feng said that he wouldn't give up his points to that guy easily. Ye Wu said that experience was not important at all compared to the comparison of strength between the two. He attacked Luo Feng from a long distance. Of course, Luo Feng, who was hit, could only curse before finally being defeated. Ye Wu managed to kill him and got all his points. He also gets an item in the form of an active card to copy himself into a doll that can be manipulated freely. The remaining number of players from the dungeon was 2 people, with Ye Wu who had a score of 62,000 points and Ruin Tianchen who had 21,000 points. Of course, Ruin Tianchen was very happy because she could get that many total points from the dungeon. Even from the calculation ratio, only 1/10 can be very lucky to get that many points. Ye Wu said that he would immediately disband the team when he left the dungeon. So, he would take the 500,000 point reward for himself and Ruin Tianchen couldn't protest. Ruin Tianchen wouldn't comment at all because I was very satisfied with what I got. She thanked Ye Wu for bringing me along and even making it through to the end. Seeing Ruin Tianchen's response, Ye Wu was also happy. It seemed to him that the girl was not greedy at all. Even though she is a cute person, your mentality remains positive. After completing the dungeon, Ye Wu got 50,000 XP points and 20,000 money, including 20 trunk properties of the Shadow Tree Fairy, 10 skins from the trunk of the Shadow Tree Fairy, and Magic Crystal level 10. He also got the gem enthroned by the Heart of Nature with its function of increasing the healing effect of weapons by 30% and can present baby trees to provide additional passive healing. Seeing the prize, Ye Hao was quite happy because he could get a gem that could increase healing. The gem was very rare, but it was useless to him. Judging from the description and quality, it seemed like it could be sold for a lot of money, but in the end, he handed the gem to Reincarnation. Reincarnation, who received it, certainly couldn't believe that she could get such a rare item. She was very happy because even though it wasn't much help, Ye Hao gave her the precious stone. Reincarnation was already big-headed at that time, but Ye Hao immediately asked to stop her ridiculous fantasies. He gave the gift with the help of Reincarnation, who had been the bait before. He had also promised the prize beforehand. He then hurriedly wanted to disband the team. However, as soon as they were about to separate, the dungeon experienced an abnormal situation. They were asked to immediately leave the place for a maximum of 20 seconds. Reincarnation didn't know what happened. Meanwhile, Ye Hao suspected that something was happening in their real world.